52 years ago, at this very point of the world's longest mountain range, a plane crashed directly into a mountain. The surprising thing was that the plane disappeared immediately after the collision. This is the 8,900 kilometers long Andes mountain range of South America, where there are 15,000 feet high mountains, and there is nothing except unbearable cold and silence. For many days, when neither the wreckage of the plane nor any dead bodies were found, it became clear to the authorities that there would be no passengers left. Hence, they announced to stop the search operation in the news media. For the next few days, the talk of the plane crash continued, and after that, everything slowly started getting back to normal. People had now forgotten this accident, but after about 2.5 months of this accident, exactly after 72 days, the authorities received a message from the missing plane. It was Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, which has written its name in history forever by performing a miracle in real life. On 12th October 1972, this flight took off from Montevideo, the capital of Uruguayan. There were rugby players on board who were to travel from Montevideo to Santiago, the capital of Chile, to play a match. Including the rugby players, there were a total of 40 passengers and 5 crew members on board. Takeoff, the plane had just reached Argentina when, due to sudden bad weather, the plane had to land in the Argentine city of Mendoza. The captain made this decision because the world's highest Andes mountain range stands like a wall between Argentina and Chile. The high mountains here are already quite dangerous, and crossing them during bad weather is not without danger. The pilot's plan was to spend one night in Mendoza and then cross the Andes Mountains the next day when the weather improves. But little did the pilot and all the passengers know what trouble was going to befall them the next day. The next day, that is on Friday, October 13th, Flight 571 took off from Mendoza. If we look at the map, there is only a distance of 180 kilometers between Mendoza and their destination Santiago. But in these 180 kilometers, there are only 15,000 feet high peaks of the Andes. Therefore, the flight's planned route was something like this. It will go towards the south, gain its height, and then after reaching the Planchon Pass, it will turn towards the Andes and cross these dangerous mountains, and then after turning towards the Chilean city of Córcova, it will land directly at Santiago. The pilot of Flight 571 had completed around 50 flights on this route, hence he had a lot of confidence in himself. After taking off from Mendoza, the plane headed towards the south as per the plan. While gaining the height of the plane, the pilot noticed that a thick layer of clouds had hidden the entire scene below. Now in this condition, the pilot took a warning from the control tower. A connection was established which, after seeing the radar, would keep informing the pilot about his location through radio. Apart from the control tower, pilots can estimate their location through another method also. In this, keeping in mind the last known location of the aircraft, their current location is estimated by calculating through the speed of the aircraft. This method is called dead reckoning in aviation language. As soon as Flight 571 reached parallel to the Planchon Pass, they took a right turn. Now they were passing over the Andes Mountains at an altitude of 18,000 feet. There was blue sky above and below. The pilot was completely dependent on the Santiago Air Traffic Control Tower. As soon as he reached near the Planchon Pass, Flight 571 disappeared from the radar of the control tower. This was a normal thing because due to the mountains, the radar signals were very weak. On this occasion, the co-pilot calculated his location through dead reckoning, and at 3 minutes and 2 seconds, he radioed the Santiago control tower that we will reach above the Chilean city of Cusco after 1 minute and asked them for permission to reduce our altitude. Now normally the plane reached Cusco from Chon Pass. The plane takes 11 minutes to reach the destination, but they covered this distance in just 3 minutes. The staff sitting in the control tower did not understand this thing, but because Flight 571 was not showing on their radar also, that is why they gave permission to the aircraft to descend, but they had no idea that the location calculated by the co-pilot was wrong. The pilot thought that he was above Córcova, but in reality he was crossing the Planchon Pass at that time. A huge disaster. Flight 571 was waiting for its arrival. Upon receiving permission from the control tower, the pilot made a right turn and started reducing the altitude of the plane. Initially, they faced dangerous turbulence. As they crossed the layer of white clouds, what do they see? A huge mountain was standing in front of them. Yes, at this point the pilot realized that in fact he was still in the Andes. The pilot tried his best to gain altitude again. The nose of the plane was now facing the sky, but unfortunately, if this had been done a little earlier, the tail of Flight 571 would have hit the mountain. It hit the peak and got separated from the plane. At that time, this mountain was completely covered with snow. Without tail and wings, the fuselage of Fala 571 slid straight down in the snow and stopped at this point. Due to the crash, 12 passengers died on the spot, especially those who were present in the rear part of the plane. Actually, 33 passengers in the fuselage of the plane survived, but they were seriously injured. Due to the separation of the tail, the rear part of the plane was open and extreme cold was coming in from it. At this time, they were stuck in the Andes at an altitude of 11,500 feet, where the temperature was minus 30 degrees Celsius. As soon as they came out, they saw snow-covered mountains as far as their eyes could see. First of all, they buried the bodies of their companions in the snow. Meanwhile, the news of the plane crash alerted the Chilean authorities, but they did not know that it had actually crashed in Argentina. Without wasting any time, they started a search operation in which 4 airplanes participated. The suspected area was searched from morning till evening. During this, they neither saw any plane nor any debris. It was a very difficult search operation because all the mountains below were reflecting the light due to snow. Uruguay and Argentina also participated in this search operation, and now a total of 11 aircraft spent the whole day searching for Flight 571. Here, at the crash site, rescue planes passed over the surviving passengers several times, but despite their repeated signals, the rescue planes could not spot them. Later, they found a lipstick in a luggage which they wrote SOS in big letters on the fuselage of the plane and also made a cross on the snow with the luggage bag, but the rescue planes still could not spot them. After running the search operation for a total of 8 days, on October 21st, 1972, the search operation was ended by declaring all the passengers dead. On the 11th day, the passengers present at the crash site found a radio in the cockpit. By tuning it, they heard the news that the search operation being run to find them has now been stopped. While they were already in so much trouble, this news made them more sad. The last hope of survival that was visible for them was also lost. In the first week itself, 5 more passengers lost their lives due to their injuries. Now only 28 passengers were left at the crash site. They collected the debris and luggage and switched off the fuse of the plane to protect themselves from the cold. They also made glasses for themselves by cutting the plastic visor of the cockpit, which were protecting them to some extent from the light reflected from the snow. They heated the seat covers and made snowshoes from the seat cushions. By this time, they had nothing to eat. There were 8 chocolate bars, 3 jam jars, some dry fruits, and a few water bottles. In the first week, they ate this food with great difficulty by dividing it among themselves. But when all these things got over, they started eating clothes and cotton, due to which they started falling sick more. In this part of Andes, they were not able to find anything for energy, and on top of that, it was not possible to get down from the peak where they had crashed, nor to hike upwards. During this time, the condition of the passengers was such that their body weight reduced by 40%. When they could not understand anything, they started eating the body parts of their dead comrades. Obviously, this decision was very difficult, but hunger, thirst, and weakness forced them to take this step. 17 days after the crash, on October 29th, suddenly at night, an avalanche came and it attacked fuselage badly. The speed of the snow-covered avalanche was so fast that the entire fuselage was filled with snow from inside. 9 survivors were killed in this accident. The remaining 19 people removed the snow with whatever they could get their hands on and made space for oxygen. Days were passing by and the condition of the survivors was getting worse. One by one, all of them were facing death, and the survivors were waiting for their death. By December 12th, that is 60 days after the crash, 3 more survivors lost the battle of life. Now the 16 survivors had only 2 options: Either they should start counting their remaining days or muster courage and somehow hike this vertical cliff located in the west. On December 12, 1972, 3 rugby players, Parado Canisa and Vigentine, decided to hike the western peak, hoping that there might be a green valley on the other side of the mountain where they could find some help. It was a very arduous hike, as they neither had professional gear nor the temperature was minus 30 degrees Celsius. They wrapped themselves in handmade sleeping bags and warm clothes made from ship seats and set out on the hike. After hiking continuously for 3 days, when they finally reached the top of the mountain, they saw that there were similar snow-covered mountains on the other side of the mountain. There was neither greenery nor any sign of life here. Due to food shortage, one person went back to the crash site. Parado and Canisa started walking downhill on the other side of the mountain in search of help. After trekking for the next 10 days and covering a distance of 61 kilometers in bad conditions, they finally reached a valley which was full of greenery. There were animals, and a river was flowing. First of all, they drank water from the river. Then they saw a man on a horse on the other side of the river. Due to the noise of the river, they were not able to convey their message to that man. The local sitting on the horse got an idea, and the paper and pen were wrapped in a stone and thrown across the river. Prado and Canisa wrote the entire incident on that paper and threw it back. The man riding a horse took this letter to the Chilean authorities. At first, they could not believe that how could the survivors of the plane crash still be alive even after 2.5 months. But the authorities immediately rescued Prado and Canisa, and after bandaging them, interviewed them in detail. On December 27, 1972, that is 72 days after the crash, 3 helicopters followed the trail of Prado and Canisa. But on seeing the peak of the mountain that reached the crash site, even the pilot was surprised that how these 2 rugby players would have climbed this mountain without any gear and experience. Ultimately, all the survivors present in the fuselage were rescued, and their dead comrades were buried there by digging a big grave. A memorial was made by placing some stones on that grave, which is present there in the same condition till date. This memorial still reminds us that if a person does not lose courage, he can defeat even the biggest problem.